What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is episode 31 of the viewer comment series. This is, of course, a series where you guys send in your comments and questions, and they do get read live on the show. Now, if you have a comment or a question you want featured, make sure you follow me on Twitter, and make sure you're paying attention to my YouTube community page. So make sure you are subscribed, because then you will see those posts. The posts go out every single Tuesday, usually between 8 and 10 a.m. Pacific time. So be on the lookout for those, leave your comments and questions, and I will pick the best ones to be read on the show. Now, before we do get into it, if you guys are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate you being here. Now let's get into it. All right, first up, from Macros Toad over on Twitter. He says, with Sayeri being as consistent as he has been through 4 weeks, do you think Riley should make the kicker change when Chittenden gets healthy, or would that only hurt team continuity? So for me, this isn't even a question. Ryan Sayeri has absolutely done enough to win this job. Just like you said, he's been consistent. He's not only been making his kicks, he's been making them with authority. It's not like he's just squeezing them in on the left or right upright. Like, he's banging them right down the middle, hitting from distance, hitting from up close. He's doing a damn good job. And injuries suck. They absolutely do. But what kind of a message are you sending to the rest of the team if you pull Ryan Sayeri now? He's absolutely our kicker for the remainder of the year, barring some big collapse in his play or something. Fantastic question, though. Very interesting conversation. Next up on YouTube from Insane Sports Takes, he asked, if Jacoby Lane is out versus Illinois, how will this affect our offensive game plan? If Lane is out, will Illinois stack the box or double Makai Lemon? So yeah, we did get a glimpse of that against Michigan State, but it's going to look very different against better defenses and better secondaries overall. Like, Makai Lemon was pretty much getting open at will. That's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you're the only real threat in a wide receiver room, you're not going to be able to get open like that against the better secondaries. Now, for this week, there was a clip of Jacoby Lane going into practice. All I'll say is, you saw him going through pregame warmups and jumping around. Like, seeing him go into practice does not mean he practiced. I know Lincoln said they're going to wait until that injury report comes out, but from what I'm hearing, at this point, things could change, obviously, but I do not expect Jacoby Lane to play on Saturday. Now, in terms of what Illinois is going to do if he is out, the thing with Illinois is they don't really change based on who they're playing. Like, Brett Bielema is very hard-headed, very stubborn. They're going to play man coverage, and they're going to blitz. Like, maybe that jarring beatdown they took at the hands of Indiana is going to wake them up a little bit, and maybe they'll see that they have to change what they're doing, especially with all those injuries in the secondary. They are beat the hell up, guys. But yeah, with that, I'll believe it when I see it. They're going to play man coverage, and they're going to blitz a ton. So if that's their plan, and our O-line can hold up, and Jaden makes good decisions, Makai Lemon is going to have an absolute field day. Plain and simple, if their plan is to stop him by playing man coverage one-on-one, or even having a safety help on the top, the secondary's so beat up, I still think Makai Lemon could have a huge day. Next up, from T over on YouTube, he asked, when you watch other teams on our schedule, are you hoping they look good to make our resume better? Or are you hoping they don't look good for a better chance we win? So this is not the BCS era or even the 4-team playoff era. I will be completely honest with you. I root against pretty much every single team on our schedule. I want them reeling the week we play them. I don't care about having good wins. I just want to make the playoffs. I just want a chance in the dance. And it's more of a Big Ten thing with anything, because back in the Pac-12 days, like, I'd root for Arizona. I'd root for Arizona State. I'd root for Washington State and Washington. There were a few exceptions, obviously, like the Bruins, like Oregon, but I pretty much rooted for everybody else. The Big Ten, it's not the same way. This still doesn't feel like it's our conference. Feels like we're just here temporarily, to be honest. Like, with the way that the Super League is trending and all of that stuff, we're probably going to be in a pseudo Pac-10 before you even know it. But yeah, in general, I don't root for the Big Ten teams at all. And at this stage, I don't really care what our resume looks like in terms of quality opponents. Now, if you get into a tiebreaker, then yeah. If you're 9-3 and you have 3 good losses against 3 bad losses, that's obviously going to help. But no, I just want to win each and every week. And if you're 10-2, 11-1, 12-0, and you're USC coming from the Big Ten, you're going to be in the playoff anyway. So it doesn't really matter who you play at that point. All right, so next up, let's have the defensive back discussion. Now, I got a million questions on this week, it seems like. So I'm just going to read through a lot of them and then sort of answer them as one collective sort of answer. AZ Weedo says, do you think we should have left Belk as the cornerback coach? Big T in the morning says, will the play of our secondary affect D'Anton Lynn's future job prospects? Follow-up, also, how does this season affect Kamari Ramsey's future? M Under Family says, if we move Ramsey back to safety, how much worse can the cornerbacks be? Jacob Schechter says, is there any way we see meaningful improvement turn into an above-average unit from the secondary this season? Barce LA just says, how do we fix this secondary? Mr. P says, so far I'm very happy with this team. I love Riley's play calling and how he has decided to run the ball more, but I am concerned about the cornerbacks. In your opinion, how should the DC handle the issues you are seeing? And lastly, from Mike Williams, no, not that Mike Williams, but Mike Williams 1084, he asked, what is Doug Belk's future if the secondary doesn't show improvement over the season? So yeah, a lot of you are concerned about the secondary, and rightfully so, because I'm right there with you. And yeah, it's not great right now. I mean, you heard Sua Craven say it himself. Kamari Ramsey's hurting his future draft stock by playing nickel. That's not his natural spot. He needs to be much more central. And guys, it's not like he's bad at nickel. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that he's so good at safety. He's so impactful. There's so many havoc plays. He's around the ball more. I think we're missing that in a big way because Christian Pierce is a very good box player. He can come down and play the run. He can make tackles, but he's not going to make the havoc plays and the plays in the passing game that Kamari Ramsey does. So not only do we have a not natural nickel playing nickel, but we also have an inferior option starting in the safety spot where Kamari Ramsey would have been. Now, the good news. Alex Graham is reportedly very close to returning, could even return this week maybe. Maybe. Like with that, I kind of doubt it. We'll see though. And what I will say is when you're counting on a true freshman, as high as I am on Alex Graham, having to count on a true freshman to come in midway through the season after being injured, not being able to practice, not be able to get those reps, that's kind of a tricky spot to be. Like as we've seen in the secondary, it's a very high leverage spot. One mistake and there's 6 going the other way. So we are in a tricky spot here. If there's one thing, and Tim Prangley has talked about this a bunch over on the USC football podcast that we do together, link is in the description. Please go and subscribe. Really appreciate it. But he said that the loss of Greedy Vance and Jalen Smith is not being talked about enough. Now, he was saying that back in December, and he's 100% right. And then taking a look at the corners, there was another good question from the Warlord of Troy. He asked, better shot at growing into a consistent starter, Marcellus Williams or Braylon Conley? Now, in general, I think they both could be great players. But for what this system is asking these corners to do right now, which is play sticky coverage, not always having help on the back end, the answer is Braylon Conley. Like Marcellus is not going to be that press man, elite coverage corner. That's just not in his locker. He's not going to have it. Marcellus is great in zone. He's great at coming up and playing the run. He's great at making tackles in open space. That's his game. That's what he's good at. He has a very defined skill set at this point in his career. Could he get better? Is he going to get better? Yes and yes. But we're talking about right here, right now. We need to win these games against Illinois and Michigan and Notre Dame. So I do think that your 2 starting corners going forward need to be DeCarlos Nicholson and Braylon Conley. Now that Chasen Johnson loss, massive, absolutely huge. We've talked about it a ton, but that's a pure press man corner. He has the long arms, he has the height, he has the reach, he has the athleticism, and most importantly, he has the mentality and the tenacity. There's a very common theme with these hyper-aggressive press man corners. They have an edge, they have a mentality. You know it when you see it, and Chasen Johnson has it, and then some. So, this is not the NFL. There's no trades, and there's no free agent wire. So we have who we have, and we have to roll with it. In terms of the overarching, how do you fix the defensive backs? How do you fix the corners? I don't think you fix them. Like DeCarlos Nicholson, as a 6-year player or whatever he is, he's not going to all of a sudden learn how to be a better cornerback, right? He is who he is at this stage in his career. And he's not a number 1 corner on a big-time defense. Now, that doesn't mean he's not a number 2 or a number 3. He's just not a number 1, and that's the role he's in right now. And again, he hasn't been bad. He hasn't. But when you're talking about a big-time defense, especially in the Big Ten, this is a conference with very high-level corner play, there's just a different standard, and he doesn't meet that standard, but that doesn't mean he's a bad player. That doesn't mean he's not playable. He absolutely is, and he made some good plays in that last game against Michigan State. But the point is, for what we're asking it to be, it's not good enough. So we're not going to fix them is what I'm trying to say. What we need to do is help them. Or you just commit to the bit. You take the nickel off the field, you play with 3 linebackers, and you get hyper-aggressive getting after the ball carrier or the quarterback. Like you just attack downhill all game. Desmond Stevens, Eric Gentry, and Jaden Walker. And you just come downhill every single play, and you rely on that pass rush to get after the quarterback to force bad decisions. Because we saw it in 2022. Are you going to give up some big plays? Absolutely. But with the offense humming the way it is, and our expectations completely flipping for this defense, meaning that overall it isn't elite, but we do have an elite pass rush, use that to your advantage. Become havoc play centric, because you're going to give up some big plays, but you're going to make some big ones too. And when you make those big plays, go turn them into points, and you'll win the game, a la 2022 USC. It's either that or you sit off and play shell or soft zone, keep everything in front of you, ask them to have a 10-play drive. We're going to give up a lot of yards. It's not going to look pretty on the stat sheet, but it will limit those explosives if that is your goal. Now, considering we're having a hard time just communicating right now, and we're giving up a bust every single game, I'm in favor of just simplifying the defense. Not that it's hyper complicated or anything like that, but at some point we gotta admit that this just is not working out the way we all expected. There's a lot of problems on the back end, and whether it's simplifying, whether it's turning hyper aggressive, whether it's taking the nickel off the field, even in nickel or passing situations, and just getting ultra aggressive with getting to the quarterback, making that priority one. There's a lot of options. Don't know exactly which one I would pick. I'd probably lean toward having 3 linebackers on the field as much as you can, and then just simplifying the scheme defensively, especially in the back end, and making sure our corners have help at all times. Next up, from Omaha Trojan over on Twitter, he says, what's been the biggest surprise to you early in the season? Has to be Jaden Mayava. I'll actually throw in a clip of Colin Cowherd on his show because I think he said it perfectly. So here's the clip. We'll talk about it after.
Jaden Mayava, USC. Is anybody paying attention? 9 TDs, no picks, 71% completion percentage. I don't want to hear about their schedule. For all the people that doubt Lincoln Riley, this kid last year was reckless and out of control. He looks unbelievable. This kid has cleaned up his entire game. Again, last year he was young, he was reckless, he kind of played out of control. I didn't think he was very good between the hash marks. He is making big-time throws and great decisions.
Couldn't agree more. Now, a lot of people are rewriting history saying that Jaden Mayava was great last year and they all saw this coming. No one saw Jaden Mayava going from an erratic mess to a cool, calm, and collected point guard in the course of one offseason. No one saw that coming. So yeah, it has to be him. This is the biggest drastic change in play style I think I've seen from a player in my lifetime at USC, from what they were one year to the next. Like, it's not just that he's better. We've seen guys take big jumps. He plays the game in a completely different way. Like I said, if you took his film last year and put it up against his film this year, you blacked it out so that all you see is a silhouette, you would have no idea that you're watching Jaden Mayava. Remarkable turnaround. And he and Lincoln Riley cannot get enough credit for all the work they did this offseason. And lastly, from Ian Yasher over on YouTube, he asks, any season record changes for you after the Michigan State game? Actually, yes, I'm going to bump up from 8-4 to 9-3. And it's not just my record prediction, but also my expectation and in terms of what I deem acceptable, right? Because the way this team is playing, we're seeing the competitive depth, all the money invested into the staff. Anything less than 9-3, I think, is close to a catastrophe. When you look at who we have left, the way we've been playing, the way the offense is just humming, like, I don't think you can go 8-4 because that would mean you're losing probably to Illinois, to Oregon, to Notre Dame, and to Nebraska. Like, if you lose to the 4 quality-ish opponents you have left on your schedule, it's going to leave a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Like winning against Northwestern, and Iowa's offense looks really bad, and the Bruins are terrible. Like, winning those games, very important, obviously. But at USC, that's not what we celebrate. We celebrate the big wins. We celebrate winning things, like trophies, like playoff appearances, all that sort of stuff. We want to be successful. So we have to get those big wins against those big opponents. Now, if we lose to Illinois and look like shit, I'll probably be back down to 8-4. But as of right now, it's 9-3. Have any of your guys' record changed? Please let me know down below. That's a really interesting question, actually. So thank you, Ian, and thank you to everybody who sent in questions this week. If you guys did happen to enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate all you guys being here. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.